Somewhere deep within you, far beyond thought and memory, a fire is burning. It has always been there. Sometimes it hides beneath the calm surface of your daily life, quiet, almost invisible. And at other times, it explodes without warning, devouring everything in its path, people, dreams, even your own sense of identity. This fire is not a metaphor. It is life itself, raw energy, emotion, and destiny woven together. It's the power that pushes you forward and the force that can also tear you apart. Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." And that's exactly what this inner fire is, the silent ruler of your destiny. It either guides you or consumes you. Take a breath. Inhale slowly. Feel that warmth in your chest, that flicker of something ancient and alive. Maybe it feels like anger, maybe like passion, maybe like grief that never found words. That's your flame, the one that has been waiting for you to finally look at it. In a moment, you'll see 5 candles before you. Each one burns with a different kind of fire. Each speaks its own secret language. One whispers in the tongue of shadows, another glows with intuition, another burns with pure passion, one trembles with pain and longing, and one hums softly with the voice of your spirit. None of them appear by chance. Whichever one draws you in, that's the mirror of your soul at this exact moment in time. It could represent a pain you've buried, a potential you've forgotten, or a truth that's trying to reach the surface. Imagine yourself sitting inside an ancient temple, surrounded by stillness. Before you, 5 candles flicker in the half-light. Each flame burns differently. Each color carries its own vibration, its own message. This isn't a game. It's not fortune-telling. It's a symbolic journey inward, an invitation to meet the truth that lives within you. Before you choose, pause for a heartbeat. Ask yourself, what is truly burning inside me? Is it the light that guides me, or the fire that consumes me? Is it intuition whispering softly, or rage screaming for release? Are these the wounds I hide, or the strength they've secretly given me? When the candles appear, don't rush. Don't analyze. Trust what you feel, not what seems reasonable, but what moves you deep within. It might be a color, a shape, a trembling flame, or an emotion you can't quite name. Whatever pulls you, follow it. The candle you choose is no coincidence. It reveals the fire that rules your life, the one that heals, or the one that destroys. 5 flames, 5 paths, 5 aspects of the soul. Behind each lies a truth about who you are. Are you ready to see it? The air around you grows still. You can almost hear the sound of your own heartbeat echoing against invisible walls. The darkness is not empty. It breathes. It listens. It waits. And somewhere inside that silence, the faint smell of wax begins to rise. A warm light trembles in front of you, followed by another and another. 5 flames now stand before you, each one alive, each one whispering its own story. They are not random colors, nor are they ornaments of imagination. They are living symbols, doorways into your unconscious mind. Each carries a different energy. One hums with mystery, another vibrates with passion, another aches with pain and memory, another radiates serenity, and one more pulses with the rhythm of rebirth. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture yourself sitting cross-legged on a cold stone floor. Ancient pillars rise around you, carved with forgotten symbols. Dust particles float through beams of golden light that spill from a high window. You can hear the faint crackle of the flames, the language of transformation. Each candle flickers differently. One burns steadily, like a calm voice of truth. Another dances wildly, full of desire and life. One quivers like a wounded heart struggling to keep beating. Another glows faintly, almost ethereal, as if connected to a distant realm. And one burns with a strange, otherworldly hue, dark, cold, magnetic. You can feel them calling to you, not with words, but with recognition. Something inside you leans forward, drawn to a particular light. You don't know why. You don't need to. Because this test isn't about logic. It's about resonance. It's your subconscious speaking through attraction. Jung believed that every choice we make is a message from the depths of the psyche. When you choose a flame, you are not picking a color. You are answering a question your soul has been asking for a long time. So take a slow breath. Look at them. 5 fires. 5 truths. 5 mirrors of who you are. Which one feels like home? Which one reflects the rhythm of your heartbeat? Which one feels like a secret you've always known but never said out loud? In this moment, time pauses. You are not watching. You are remembering. The candle you are about to choose is not an object. It's a fragment of yourself returning to you. Now, look closely. Among these 5 lights, one is black with a cold blue flame. Its glow doesn't warm, it cuts through the dark like ice. It doesn't invite comfort, it invites courage. If your gaze lingers there, even for a second, perhaps that is the one calling you. If you were drawn to the black candle with the blue flame, you have chosen the path that few dare to walk. You have chosen to look directly into the darkness, not to escape it, but to understand it. This is the candle of confrontation, not comfort. Its light doesn't soothe, it exposes, and yet, within that exposure lies the beginning of freedom. The black wax glistens like obsidian. Drops of molten blue fall slowly down its sides, thick and heavy, like tears that have waited years to be seen. When you lean closer, you notice that the flame is not warm. It burns cold, an impossible fire, sharp as truth. It is the fire of awareness. This candle represents everything within you that has been buried. The anger you've swallowed to stay polite. The grief you've disguised as strength. The desires you've labeled forbidden. Every secret you've pushed into the shadows now breathes through this blue-tinted light. Look closely. Do you see the faint shape forming in the wax? A face crying out, not in terror, but in recognition. That face is yours, the part of you that has been silenced for too long, the scream that no one heard, the emotion that never found air. It's been waiting for you to finally listen. The smoke rises upward, twisting into the outline of a chained figure. Those chains are not real. They are made of memory. They are the voices that once told you, don't feel that, don't cry, don't want. They are expectations, judgments, rules you accepted to survive. And yet, those same rules became walls that now keep you from breathing freely. By choosing this candle, you've already begun the hardest part, admitting that pain exists. You have acknowledged the wound instead of hiding it. And that single act is courage in its purest form. Jung taught that the tree of life grows only where the tree of death once stood, meaning, your light will bloom exactly where your darkness once lived. What you accept transforms. What you deny controls you. So when you stare into this black flame, know this. You are not being punished. You are being invited. Invited to reclaim the parts of you that once scared you. invited to let your darkness speak, so it no longer has to scream. Maybe you've always felt too much, too emotional, too intense, too unpredictable. But what if those too muches were never flaws? What if they were messages, signals from your inner fire saying, "Notice me"? The black candle is that signal. It whispers, "Stop running." It asks you to turn around and face what you've been fleeing, not to suffer again, but to end the suffering that hiding has created. Healing doesn't mean erasing your pain. It means giving it a voice, allowing it to become wisdom. The moment you look at your shadow without fear, it stops being your enemy. It becomes your ally. This is the beginning of alchemy, the transformation of pain into power, fear into freedom. The blue flame of this candle is your consciousness awakening. It is not the fire that destroys, it is the fire that reveals. Let its light show you what you have kept in the dark. Let it melt the chains one by one. Let it teach you that what burns inside you doesn't have to consume you. It can illuminate you. You have faced the first flame. You have seen the shadow. And now, a new light begins to stir, one that speaks in whispers of peace. If your eyes were drawn to the white candle, glowing softly with a steady, almost motionless flame, it means a quiet power lives within you. It doesn't roar or demand attention. It simply is, pure, constant, unshakable. This is the voice of your higher self, the calm center that knows even when your mind forgets. The wax is pale like moonlight, and around its base lies a chain of silver. It glints faintly, a reminder that even purity can be restrained by old beliefs. You can sense it, the longing to rise, to breathe freely, to live by your own rhythm. But something still tugs at your ankles, holding you close to the ground. That chain is not punishment. It is history. The words, rules, and expectations you once accepted as truth. Maybe you were told you had to earn love. Maybe you learned that intuition was foolish, that peace was laziness, that self-trust was arrogance. And so you built a prison made of other people's voices, forgetting that the door was never locked. The flame above you doesn't flicker. It listens. It listens to the chaos within you and answers with stillness. It burns not to consume, but to remind you of who you already are. In its light, the noise of the world fades, and what remains is the sound of your own soul whispering, "Trust me, I've been here all along." If this candle has chosen you, it means your spirit is ready to be heard. You may have spent years chasing goals, proving yourself, seeking validation, and yet none of it brought peace. Because peace doesn't live in applause. It lives in alignment. That gentle state when what you feel, think, and do all move in the same direction. Look into this white flame. See how it doesn't dance wildly. It holds its ground. Its light reaches inward, not outward. It asks you to stop performing, to stop pretending that silence equals weakness. Your quiet is not emptiness. It is wisdom in disguise. The white candle calls for authenticity. It doesn't ask you to be perfect. It asks you to be real. When your yes truly means yes, when your no truly means no, that is when the soul finally exhales. No masks, no bargains, no proving your worth. Just truth. But this path is not without struggle. You may feel torn between the voice of your intuition and the demands of the world. One part of you whispers, "Be free." Another murmurs, "Be safe." That tension is the chain, the friction between who you are and who you were taught to be. Yet every time you choose authenticity over approval, one link melts away. Jung once wrote that enlightenment is not achieved by imagining light, but by making the darkness conscious. And once you have faced your darkness, this white flame becomes your guide through it. It is not the absence of pain, but the presence of clarity. This candle doesn't promise answers. It offers a question. Are you willing to choose yourself, even when others don't understand? Even when your path leads into the unknown? If you can whisper yes, even softly, even with trembling lips, then you are already free. Your soul has remembered what the world wanted you to forget, that you are light, and light does not need permission to shine. If your gaze was drawn to the red candle glowing like liquid sunset, it means the fire within you refuses to stay quiet. This is not a tame flame. It roars, pulses, and demands to be felt. It is the energy of passion, the heartbeat of your instincts, the primal voice that says, I am alive. The wax drips slowly down its sides like droplets of blood, not of pain, but of vitality. It is the symbol of your life force, the untamed current that makes you love fiercely, grieve deeply, and crave meaning beyond the surface. Every feeling in you burns hotter than it does in others. Your joy becomes ecstasy. Your sadness becomes oceanic. Your anger strikes like lightning. You do not experience halfway. You live all the way through. And yet, this intensity is both your gift and your trial. For those who burn so brightly are often misunderstood by a world afraid of flame. Maybe you've been told you're too emotional, too dramatic, too impulsive. But those words only come from people who have forgotten what it means to feel deeply. The halo that glows above this red candle isn't decoration. It's a message. It says that your passion is not sin, but sacred. That your desires, your longings, your fury, your tenderness, all of it belongs. Because what burns in you is not chaos. It is transformation in motion. In alchemy, the red fire was the stage of calcination, the burning away of what is false, so the truth may rise from the ashes. And that is what this candle represents, a purifying fire. Life may place you in situations that ignite every nerve inside you, not to destroy you, but to reveal what still matters, what still lives. Maybe you've spent years restraining yourself, hiding your emotions, learning to be polite when your heart wanted to scream. You've built walls of control to keep the world safe from your fire. But inside, that flame has been building pressure, waiting to break through the cracks. The red candle whispers, it's time. Time to feel again, to allow the full range of your humanity, to rage without shame, to love without fear, to desire without guilt. Jung once said that any emotion not expressed doesn't disappear. It sinks into the unconscious and turns into something darker. Unspoken anger becomes depression. Unacknowledged longing turns into envy. Suppressed desire becomes numbness. But when emotion is embraced consciously, it becomes power, a creative force rather than a destructive one. The aura that surrounds this flame glows like a heartbeat. It says, let this fire guide you, not consume you. Because when you learn to channel it into art, connection, purpose, your passion stops being wildfire and becomes sacred heat, the energy that warms, protects, inspires. To choose this candle is to declare, I will no longer live half alive. You accept the risk of feeling everything, the pain and the beauty, because numbness is a worse death. You accept that being human means burning sometimes, but also creating worlds from that same fire. Let this candle remind you, you are not made of stone, you are made of flame. And fire, when guided by love and awareness, doesn't destroy. It illuminates. If your eyes were drawn to the violet candle, shimmering softly with a trembling, ethereal light, you are someone who lives between worlds. You sense what others overlook. You hear what others dismiss. You move through reality and dream as if both were made of the same fabric. The flame of this candle does not blaze. It hums. Its color, deep and hypnotic, is neither night nor day, but something in between. It is the color of transformation, where spirit meets matter, where the conscious touches the infinite. The wax bears mysterious symbols, faintly carved as if by invisible hands. They seem familiar, though you can't recall from where. Perhaps from a dream you once had, or from a life your soul still remembers. These marks are fragments of the collective unconscious, what Jung described as the deep well of memory shared by all humanity, a place where archetypes breathe, waiting to be seen again through your eyes. When you gaze into this violet fire, you do not see, you feel. You feel the pulse of something larger, an intelligence older than language. This flame doesn't explain. It reveals through intuition. It speaks in synchronicities, in dreams that echo real life, in coincidences too precise to ignore. It is the voice of your inner guide, the whisper of the universe through your own nervous system. If you've chosen this candle, you are the seer, the mystic, the one who walks the edge of mystery. You read energy before words, emotions before logic. You sense when a storm is coming, long before clouds appear. And though this gift is rare, it can feel like both blessing and burden. There are times when your sensitivity isolates you, when the world feels too loud, too fast, too shallow. You may have learned to hide your intuition, to speak less, to pretend not to know what you know. But this candle calls you back to your truth. It reminds you that perception is not madness. It is your nature. The small spark that dances above the flame is not a trick of light. It is your inner star. It represents connection to something higher, to the divine, to the vast field of consciousness that holds every living thing. When that spark flickers, it means the invisible world is listening, guiding you, nudging you gently toward your own destiny. But be careful, gentle soul. There is a fine line between intuition and illusion. To live close to the unseen is to risk losing your grounding. Dreams can become traps. Visions can blur with fantasies. The violet candle does not ask you to escape the world. It asks you to unite it, to bring heaven into earth, to let your spiritual depth walk hand in hand with your human feet. Jung called this path individuation, becoming whole by integrating what is conscious and what is unconscious, what is mystical and what is real. You are on that path now. Your task is not to chase enlightenment, but to embody it, to live with both wonder and presence. Perhaps you've always felt a little different, drawn to symbols, astrology, dreams, energy. Maybe people told you it was nonsense, but deep inside, you know better. You know that what can't be measured is often what matters most. Choosing this candle means you are ready to trust your perception, to honor your connection to mystery, and to stop asking the world for permission to believe what your heart already knows. You are not strange. You are attuned. You are not lost. You are listening. Let the violet fire remind you that not all wisdom speaks in words. Sometimes it speaks through stillness, through the quiet knowing that rises from within when your mind finally bows to silence. If you were drawn to the green candle, the one cracked and lined with small crystals inside its wax, your soul has chosen the path of the healer. Not the distant healer who stands above suffering, but the one who has walked through it. Its flame is gentle. It doesn't flare to impress or blaze to dominate. It burns with quiet strength, like a heart that has broken and still dares to love. The light flickers through its cracks, scattering tiny reflections like emerald shards. It's beautiful, not despite the fractures, but because of them. This candle speaks to those who have known loss, who have carried burdens in silence, who have learned to smile while their soul was still bleeding. Its wax holds the memory of every tear that has fallen, not as weakness, but as wisdom. Each crystal glimmering inside it is a truth you've discovered in the dark. That empathy is born from experience, that kindness is forged in pain, that understanding grows from wounds. Carl Jung once said, "Only the wounded physician heals," because only those who have faced their own suffering can truly sit beside another's without fear. And that is what you are. Not perfect, not unscarred, but real. You have touched the edges of despair and found the strength to return with open hands instead of closed fists. The green candle is the fire of regeneration. Its light vibrates with the energy of renewal, the same force that makes forests grow again after the storm, that pushes a sprout through the cracks of concrete. It is the heart's resilience made visible. You may not see yourself as strong, but you are. Because true strength isn't the absence of pain, it's the ability to stay soft in spite of it, to still care, to still hope, to still choose love, even after betrayal. This candle calls to those who carry the pain of others, the caregivers, the listeners, the silent shoulders. It honors your compassion, but also reminds you of something vital. You, too, deserve healing. You cannot pour endlessly from an empty cup. Even a healer needs rest, tenderness, and a place to be held. If you've chosen this candle, your soul is whispering, "Stop tending every wound but your own." It's time to turn your kindness inward, to treat yourself with the same patience, forgiveness, and warmth you've given to others. Because self-compassion isn't selfish, it's medicine. The cracks in this candle's surface are not flaws. They are the openings through which the light escapes. Every scar you carry is a window, not into weakness, but into your story, your humanity, your unbreakable core. When light enters through those wounds, something sacred happens. The pain becomes purpose. To choose this candle is to declare, "I will no longer hide my scars. They are the map of my becoming." The green flame doesn't ask you to forget the past. It asks you to bless it, to see that every heartbreak, every loss, every dark night was a teacher guiding you back to yourself. You are not broken. You are remade. You are not fragile. You are forged. And the light that shines through you now, that gentle green light, is the most honest kind of beauty. Let it remind you that healing is not a destination, but a rhythm. Some days you burn brightly. Some days you flicker softly. But always you are becoming whole. Now that you've gazed into the 5 flames, black, white, red, violet, and green, take a moment to breathe. Let their colors fade together in your mind until they form a single glow, a quiet golden light pulsing in the center of your chest. This is what Jung called the meeting of opposites. It's the point where every part of you, your pain and your joy, your light and your darkness, your logic and your longing, begins to recognize itself as one living whole. Each candle you saw was not separate from you. It was a fragment of your being, a mirror of the forces that shape your life. The black flame taught you courage, that even darkness deserves your attention, that what you face no longer controls you. The white flame taught you truth, that peace isn't found in perfection, but in living honestly, in harmony with your inner voice. The red flame reminded you of passion, that feeling deeply is not a flaw, but the pulse of existence itself. The violet flame revealed intuition, that silence, mystery, and wonder are not distractions, but sacred languages of the soul. And the green flame showed you compassion, that wounds do not disfigure you. They define the light that escapes through you. Together, they form the map of your humanity. 5 lights, 5 lessons, 5 doors into your own heart. And now, the temple around you begins to fade. The walls dissolve into mist. The floor beneath you softens into the warmth of the earth. You realize you are not in some faraway place. You are in yourself, always have been. The fires were never out there. They were inside you from the beginning, waiting to be seen. They are the flames that write your story, that burn through illusions and light the way home. So ask yourself, quietly, truthfully, what burns within me? Is it the light that guides, or the flame that consumes? Do I fight my fire, or do I learn to dance with it? Because life will always bring you fire, passion, anger, loss, rebirth. You cannot control when it comes, but you can choose how to meet it. You can feed the flames that illuminate or the ones that destroy. You can let the fire turn you to ash, or you can let it forge you into gold. That is the secret of every candle you've seen. The power is not in the wax, or the color, or the smoke. It's in the one who watches it burn. In you. Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." And perhaps that is what this journey has been. Not about choosing a candle, but remembering the fire that has always been yours. So tonight, when you close your eyes, imagine that single golden flame within your chest. Breathe into it. Feed it with truth. Guard it with awareness. And let it guide you through every darkness, every rebirth, every shadow and sunrise. Because this is not the end. It is the beginning of becoming whole. The start of your own inner alchemy. The fire within you doesn't want to destroy. It wants to illuminate, to turn your pain into purpose, your chaos into clarity, your suffering into wisdom. May your candle burn steady, and may its light lead you home to yourself. The fire has spoken, not in words, but in the language of symbols, the way the soul speaks when the mind is finally quiet. What you have just witnessed is not a test. It is a mirror of what still breathes, aches, and hopes within you. Each candle was a reflection of something eternal. The black flame, your courage to face pain. The white, your longing for truth. The red, your passion to live fully. The violet, your wisdom to see beyond appearances. The green, your compassion that heals what once was broken. Together they are the elements of your wholeness, the 5 sacred fires that shape your becoming. They remind you that the human journey is not about escaping darkness or chasing light, but about integration, about holding both in your hands and saying, "This, too, is me." The purpose of this journey is not to give you an answer, but to awaken a question. What kind of fire do I choose to be? Because in every moment, you are feeding a flame. When you speak with kindness, you feed the green one. When you act with honesty, you feed the white. When you dare to feel deeply, you awaken the red. When you listen to silence, you strengthen the violet. And when you turn toward your fears instead of away, you honor the black. This is your daily alchemy, the art of turning life itself into light. So tonight, when you look into a real candle, remember this. You are not watching something burn. You are watching something become. You are witnessing transformation, the same transformation that happens inside you. Every time you choose awareness over avoidance, love over fear, truth over illusion. Jung believed that the path to freedom is not found in perfection, but in acceptance. The acceptance of every part of who we are. The saint and the shadow, the healer and the wounded, the light and the flame that forged it. So if the world feels heavy, if the days grow dark, remember, the light you seek is not somewhere outside. It is within you, steady, patient, eternal. It does not fade, it waits. All it needs is your attention. Take one final breath. Feel the warmth in your chest, the silent rhythm of your own pulse. That is your fire. Guard it, trust it. And when the night comes, as it always does, let that fire guide you home. Because the truth is simple. You were never lost. You were simply learning to see in the dark. May your path be clear. May your heart stay open, and may your fire burn, not to consume, but to illuminate.